Just keep that in mind in the motherfucking house, yeah. Alright, it's time for another video. I'm all pumped and primed for my latest rant, which is gonna be about, it's pathetic. I haven't done a real rant in a couple months, and I can't come up with anything to do a rant about. So, I'm going to do a rant about just whatever comes off the top of my head. I'm going to do a rant about trees. Yeah, that's right. This video is going to be about trees. Just trees in general. Now, trees are fucking annoying, alright? First of all, they're fucking huge, alright? And I don't think there's any reason for something that huge to be just growing out of someone's front yard, or their backyard, or in some cases even their side yard. I mean, they're big and they take up space. I mean, no one has any use for trees, alright? Now, like our front yard, it's a pretty, when I mow the lawn, it's pretty easy, or at least it should be, because it's a pretty small front yard. But there's this huge ass tree growing in the middle of it. So I gotta mow around that fucking thing, and it takes me like an extra 5 minutes to mow the lawn. So instead of taking about 15 minutes to mow, which it should take, it takes me like 25 minutes to mow because of that fucking tree. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, why can't we just take it down? Or, maybe they should just invent special lawn mowers that are specially invented to mow over trees. Alright? And, trees are just completely worthless. I mean, what are they good for? Oh, they're good for wood. Yeah. I mean, who uses wood anymore? It's all about plastic, okay? No one uses paper. This is the 21st fucking century. Okay? Everything's done electronically via email. Okay? Books, papers, thing of the past, folks. I always thought it was retarded that little kids like to build their little forts and tree houses and stuff. I mean, well, what's the point of tree houses? Okay? Why can't you just, hang out in your regular house? I mean, you have a tree house, you can't get any electricity or anything like that. You're just sitting on a platform in a tree. Yeah. I mean, I remember we had a tree house one time. My dad, he spent all summer working on it, and when he was finished he was like, "Son, enjoy your new tree house." So I just sat in there for hours thinking about what I was going to do with it, and I couldn't think of anything. I mean, what can you do in a tree house that you can't do much better in a regular house? Okay? You can't take your video games in a tree house unless you got a Game Boy or something, and for me, I'm more of a console guy, so that's out of the question. Okay, during the winter, you don't get heat. Okay, you can't use no one uses their treehouse during the winter unless they're a fucking idiot. All right. And yeah, and in the rain, the treehouse gets rained on, and the wood becomes all rotted and stuff, and you go outside every morning to find raccoons and homeless people living in your treehouse. I remember one time my brother fell out of the treehouse and broke his arm in 2 different places, and it was hilarious. But that's the only good memory I have of my treehouse. And, it's just, trees are stupid. And, there's always disgusting things living in trees, like birds and maggots and stuff. And, yeah, it's retarded. And another thing I hate about trees is, during storms and stuff, they're always falling down. See, we get some violent winter storms here in Illinois, we just get violent storms here regardless what season, but especially during the winter. So, every time we get a big storm, every time I'm driving to work or something, there's a huge tree limb in the middle of the road, and I gotta stop the car and get out and move the fucking tree limb. Okay? I mean, I just hate trees. I mean, I want to kill these people, these fucking hippies who think we have to save all the trees and all the rainforests. Who cares? Burn down the fucking rainforests and all the trees. I mean, it's just ridiculous, okay? And there's just so many different kinds of trees, and I hate the trees that have like pine needles growing out of them, because we used to have a big pine tree that was right by my grandma's house, and every time we would play baseball, which we used a metal bat, by the way, we didn't use a shitty wooden one, because, you know, wood's a thing of the past, okay? It's all about metal, alright? I think all paper should be made out of metal, alright? So throw away your paper, get out the aluminum foil, metal's where it's at, alright? Now, we'd be playing baseball, and we'd use the pine tree as one of the bases, but I was such a disoriented fucking idiot that I would, like, run into the pine tree and get, like, poked all over the place, and, you know, I'd be all itchy and stuff, because, you know, trees, they're worthless. All trees want to do is harm little kids. I'm convinced of that for some reason. I think trees have a mind of their own. Alright? Or, it's like in that movie The Wizard of Oz, remember? Where those trees came to life? That scared the shit out of me, man. I think that pine tree did that. I think that pine tree molested me. I should take that fucking pine tree to work. Or, you know, I hate those trees that have like the pine cones or whatever. We have like these trees that have these giant acorns that fall out of them. And every time I mow the lawn, I just mow over them, and I get like, I damage the blade. It makes this loud sound, and you know, the lawnmower shuts off. And I could just get out and like remove all of the pine cones before I mow the lawn, but I'm too much of a lazy bastard to do so. And you know, trees during the winter time, the leaves, I mean not winter but fall, the leaves turn all brown and yellowish, and they fall and they cover your lawn. So you gotta rake the fucking leaves like every fall. It's ridiculous. And then you gotta put them into these big black garbage bags and, you know, burn them or whatever. Or unless you live like here where I live in Illinois, it's illegal to burn leaves. So you just have to sit them in a garbage bag and wait for the leaves to disintegrate, because our fucking garbage men are too goddamn lazy to take the bags full of leaves. Alright? Maybe I should do a rant about garbage men next, because those guys are fucking annoying. But yeah, trees, they're just stupid, and there's too many different kinds of trees, like, I don't know, like palm trees. I mean, why are they called palm trees anyway? Because they're fucking huge, alright? Unless, you know, you're talking about like, if you're like, Shaq, because he's got some big ass motherfucking hands. Alright, but like, most people aren't Shaq. In fact, like, 9 out of 10 people or so aren't Shaqs. So, you know, that whole palm tree thing only represents a small minority of people who can actually, you know, palm the tree. And, yeah. And, only kind of tree that people even care about are Christmas trees. And if you notice, Christmas trees aren't even trees anymore. I mean, if you notice, most Christmas trees these days are fake, because you get a real fucking Christmas tree, you know, you get like termites and spiders crawling all over the place, and you gotta worry about keeping the fucking tree hydrated, and then your dog comes in and drinks out of the whole the thing that you keep your Christmas tree in. I mean, it's disgusting. Alright? I mean, Christmas trees are pretty useless anyway, because, you know, it takes forever to set them up and put all the lights and stuff on them. Then when you take the Christmas tree down, you gotta like untangle all the lights and ornaments and whatnot. I mean, even the fake trees are a pain in the ass, because like each branch is like individual. You gotta put like each individual branch on the fucking tree. Like, you know, you gotta put the red dotted little Christmas tree branch in the bottom area, and it's like putting together a Lego set. Alright? And I'm not skilled enough to do one of those. Although a lot of these new Christmas trees, or fake Christmas trees, have lights built into them, which I think is kind of convenient. And another kind of tree I hate are those fucking air fresheners. I mean, do those things really freshen the air? I mean, what's the point? Because whenever I have one of those things in my car, I really don't notice a difference in odor, okay? I mean, the only time I can really smell the fucking thing is when I have it like an inch away from my face and I like really like snort. I think, and they're not even good for decoration. I mean, having a little tree dangling from your car and you know, and and I always thought it was pointless how those stupid air fresheners come in a whole bunch of different colors, like yellow. I mean, whoever heard of a yellow tree? Or like red for cinnamon scented, or, you know, blue. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, why have it in the shape of a tree? I just never understood the point of that. I mean, there's so many other plants you can have it in the shape of. Why not have air fresheners in the shape of a flower? Flowers are kind of notorious for smelling good. I mean, I've never went up to a tree and just smelt it and think, ah, this smells really nice. I mean, I've never went up to a tree and smelled it and, you know, smelled cinnamon or anything. I mean, and another thing I hate about trees is, I always thought it was retarded how people would waste their time counting the rings in the trunk of a tree to see how old it is. Who the fuck cares? Alright? If you know, trees, if they're like more than 7 feet tall, then they're too old and they need to be cut down and burned. And even that's being generous. So, yeah, I don't like trees that much. I think they're annoying and they're stupid and they're pointless. So, I'm going to go ahead and end this little